huge ultimate out of triple, so much damage across, and it looks like the Direwolves are absolutely rinsing the team.
All right, dude, it never really looked like Direwolves were in doubt.
It really didn't. That's just like, that's a good way to play League of Legends right there. They just like, I don't know, just watching that game, it sort of just seemed like Avant never really had a chance after 5 minutes. It just seemed like Direwolves just really grinded it out. They really played their comp to their strengths. And yeah, it was quite a one-sided game, for sure.
Do you feel like that was from a position in the draft? Was it that they just got out on the front foot and, you know, were always just one step ahead? And so it was always a matter of playing catch-up as opposed to being able to react and take advantage?
Yeah, I think the Jay Sejuani pick is sort of something that might have threw Avant off guard. It's not really a bot lane that we've seen yet, like globally at all. I think Sejuani's getting picked up a little bit in solo queue, but sort of just the synergy if you think about it, just getting the Jace like hammer form onto the other AD carry and just really hammering it down with the Sejuani passive is like, it's a really cool thing, and now I might just have to go tell my bot lane to give it a go.
You're going to steal this move. And then what's the move forward for game 2 for Avant?
I just think that Avant need to pull the trigger a bit more. I think they have, like, their team comp is quite good. I don't know about the Kennen AD carry personally, but the on top is always the best champion in the meta, arguably. So if they just pull the trigger early, like maybe give Direwolves a bit more pressure and just not let them do whatever they want, I think they have the tools to maybe take a game, but I don't know. It's hard to say after a performance like that.
Right, so the best advice for you is come out on the front foot and just do your thing and make Direwolves react to you. Yeah,
when you are the worst team on paper, like you just want to really throw it at them. You don't really want to let them play their game. You sort of want to make them play your game. And the easiest way to do that is just to ARAM mid or just like be really aggressive. Just small things or cheesy picks that could work.
Cool. All right, well, speaking of throwing things at people, you have thrown your competition entries. You like that segue, Jake? You've been throwing your competition entries for #RR for the Rift Rivals 2-person tickets at us. We're very excited to be able to announce some winners. We have some runners-up as well, and you guys will not be going home empty-handed, although technically I suppose you're already home, so you won't stay at home empty-handed. We will have mystery skins to be giving out to you. And we're going to run through some of the competition entries now. So our first runner-up comes in from Adam Hooper. So Adam Hooper sent in this lovely sign here, United in the Fight. What do we think about this?
That is actually lovely. Just sort of the addition. Maybe we should get a jersey of that for Rift Rivals.
I think it's like if you just were walking past, that's a sick logo.
Yeah.
You've taken a wolf, you've turned it into some sort of tree deer, and it's got
a badge
like
on it.
Yeah. Oh, I like the idea that for you it's a badge. Me, the vulnerable point of that entire beast is apparently its forehead, so you just put the shield right there. That's all it means.
That's amazing.
The only qualm I have with this is it's going to cost a fortune to print because there's a lot of black there. I mean, you could print it on black cardboard though.
Yep. No, I agree.
You're not worried about the printing costs? Printing costs? These are not things that are factoring into your thinking? Okay, cool.
I did not consider it.
So well done, Adam Hooper. You score yourself a mystery skin. The next entry came in from Stuart Lockhead. Stuart Lockhead has put this one in, which I'm a big fan of. If Shern doesn't ace your team, our wildlife will. #IMOPL, #raise your koalas.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Well, I mean, technically, yes, he's not wrong. But could you not say that about any country? Like, if you go to, I don't know, Canada, a bear's going to mess you up.
I don't care about a bear. If there's a spider on my feet or anywhere near me, I'm running.
How many times have you come across a spider that could kill you?
Like, the ones that could kill you are the small ones that don't look scary.
There's probably one on their couch right now.
Don't say that, please. If I see a huntsman or something in my room, I'm just going to scream. Like, the whole house is going to hear it. And that, to me, is more scary than a grizzly bear.
Really? Yeah. My God. See, this is why I have to give this a runner-up, because I feel like this sign is borderline racist. Because this is perpetuating a stereotype about our country that I'm not comfortable with, frankly. And so you get yourself a mystery skin, but you don't get yourself 2 tickets to Rift Rivals. Our third entry comes in from NMouseCS. So Legends Never Die, OPL 2018, stealing, of course, the song from Worlds from last year. We've got a lovely background here. Again, these people are just not factoring in printing costs. We've got a couple of logos here, though we seem to be missing Legacy. So I don't know whether or not this person is just
Maybe
not...
it's just Chiefs bias because there's a lot of Chiefs signs there. So maybe he just wants us to do well.
That could be the case. This might just be someone who hates Legacy, or there is the subliminal Legacy with the fact that there's a bunch of trees in the background.
That's true. That's
so
true.
I would argue all of those trees look very upright, and Legacy have a tree that kind of like slants to the right.
Yeah, I've never known why that is.
Maybe it's burdened under the weight of great players.
Okay.
That's the such heavy hanging player fruit.
You should pitch that idea to Carbon.
I think
if that's not the thing, that'd be amazing to have a conversation.
All right. Well, I feel like I like that as an idea. And then we've got one more runner-up. So this one came in from Zinatel. I want to say that's how I pronounce your name. So this one, obviously, this takes some real looking at. Like if this was to pop up in the crowd during like a panning shot of the audience, the camera would need to stop and focus in for maybe 10 to 15 seconds while people wrap their head around it. But I think it's very clever, taking all the teams that will be competing, and we've basically said Oceania for the win.
That's actually just really creative.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yes. No, I could look at that for a few minutes and just be very impressed with it.
And see, that's why I feel like it has to be a runner-up, because you
Yep.
have to look at it for a few minutes. You can't just like glance over and go, oh, I know who they're supporting, because you need to read what I believe to be about the length of the 6th Harry Potter book. So I don't know whether or not that makes for a good sign, but it does make for a good runners-up sign. So congratulations to all our runners-up. You win yourself a mystery skin. We'll be contacting you in the chat on Facebook or on Twitter, wherever you submitted those submissions. But, of course, there had to be a winner. You're excited.
I'm definitely excited.
It's either excitement or there's a spider, and you're just feeling very tense now. I am excited because not only this competition was about designing a great sign, and sign design takes a lot of work. But this person went above just designing a great sign. This person created a great sign. And even though I'm not giving them the win because they put in the extra effort, I'm just saying, y'all could have put in the extra effort and maybe you'd be here coming to Rift Rivals and seeing all of us. The winner of the Rift Rivals competition is Marakit Rays with this amazing painted sign.
That's so good.
OPL win. We've got the Little Devil Teemo skin. We're crushing our enemies', I want to say, hearts.
How much warning did he have to do this?
I believe it was a she. And how much warning?
Yeah.
I mean, this competition, it's only been running this week.
That's just so cool.
Let's break down what they had to do. She had to buy paper. She
Yeah,
had to buy
buying
at
paper's
least
hard,
6
yes.
different colors of paint.
How
Or
many
maybe
Do you
3
think she got it on
colors
the
and
first go?
combined. Sorry?
Do you think she got it on the first go, or she had to redo it?
That's a good question. Do you reckon she drew underneath with pencil like a cheetah, and then basically this is a coloring in book? Do you think that we should take it away and give it back to that racist sign about our Australian wildlife? No, I think this is fantastic.
Oh, it's really good.
I am super excited to see this sign at Rift Rivals. Of course, that is part of the competition terms and conditions. You must bring this sign with you. We're not looking for just token support. We want you there with your sign. But Maricat, you will be joining us at the Rift Rivals. And what I'm excited about, if we just get the camera back on me, which of course is the important thing, I feel like we could potentially get this sign and have it maybe get Bryce or Jake to kind of do a bit of like, have you ever been to a boxing game?
Yep.
And then be one of these people who just sort of like walks out and does this thing. Like this could be Jake, sort of like holding the sign while maybe the champion selection is happening.
I'd like Bryce
bit
to
of
do
this.
it, personally.
And then I feel like that would be a wonderful like little, I'm getting the worst look from him at the moment.
I reckon we should pitch
Ever.
that idea, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's a good idea. So congratulations, Maricat. Your creativity stunned us, and your artwork, even if you did cheat and draw it with pencil in the first place, was quite astounding. So that is it for the hashtag RR sign competition. Of course, Rift Rivals is coming up in July, which we're very excited to see. And then also, we want to know from you guys, just before we get back to the second game, we want to know from you guys what you want to see more of in the OPL split this season. We've been doing experimenting with a bunch of new segments and trying new things, and we just want to know from you guys what you want to see. What sort of segments do you want? What are you interested in? Let us know. Give us your feedback on Twitter, on the Facebook page. Let us know. I believe there's also a website, which I don't have the URL for, but it's on my screen right now, oce.lolesports.com. Go there, there's a feedback form that you can fill out. And also, while you're in the giving mood, which I know you are, we are going to be interviewing a player from the winning team of this series. It'll either be, I assume we'll be interviewing either Shern or Prayless. If you have questions for either one of those two people, submit them in the chat using the hashtag IamOPL. If we select your question, you will get a mystery skin or a Hex Tech chest and key for your own gaming pleasure. Boys, I'm
Boys.
exhausted. Are you excited about seeing this sign?
Yes.
That's going to give you inspiration,
yes.
right?
If I see this sign, I'm going to maybe go Super Saiyan mode or start turning into the Armored Titan.
Can I just say, as an Australian, and you're playing on behalf of me, I'm very proud that you'll be there, but also I'm kind of disgusted that it's going to take this sign for you to finally be motivated to win this. So if you could potentially do that without the help of the sign, that would be fantastic. Boys, what do we think about the sign?
I'm all for the sign, but I'm not all for me having to hold the sign. I think that's Jake's job.
I'll do it.
There you go.
100%.
That was the
That was
easiest
so
convincing
easy.
of my life.
Yeah, sorry, I like to have participation with the fans of the show.
What? No, I'll hold the sign. I won't dance around the sign, you know?
Why not? I've seen you dance before, Bryce.
Have you?
Yeah, it takes a couple of sodas, but we can get you moving. Let's get
Sodas.
into the Champions League. It's a PG show, Bryce. It's a PG
Yeah,
show.
true.
You need to have some sugar in you. Yep. It's going to be Rakan as well as Aatrox banned away as the Lulu also hits the bench. I was eating pizza. That's why I didn't have much to say about the last segment. But one of the things I like about the new OPL is Nick Boy.
Yep.
And we're going to say this while he can't talk back, because
Okay.
otherwise I know he's going to have the most smart-ass things to say or whatsoever. But yeah, he is, I think, a positive addition to the show.
He's a unique addition to the show.
He's
He's
actually
running-
right on stage with us right now.
And I don't know if that came through. I have no idea if what he just said
I
came
don't know.
through.
This show is,
Well-
it's really gone to new heights or depths. So I can't
Oh.
decide which one it is.
You know what I'm not excited for, though?
What?
Is Aatrox bans.
Yeah, I want to see
I
it.
just want to see Aatrox. Like, Aatrox has been played overseas, but I haven't seen him played by too many OPL players. Of course, like you see it in solo queue, but it's just not the same. Has been banned a few times over the last couple of weeks, but you haven't seen it played. That's what I want.
It's going to be banned away. Darius also banned away. Yasuo and Mundo. Graves looking to be first picked for Schernfire right now. Oh, no, Talia.
Makes a lot of sense. Probably maybe just forgot about it. They were like, yeah, let's pick Graves. And, oh, wait, no, sorry. Talia's up. Let's take that one. So Schernfire, ever the aggressive jungler, going to have super high tempo, fast clearing, single target damage jungler in the Talia.
Absolutely, and life's good right now for the Direwolves. They are up one game so far. However, during the break, I have been assured that Avant Gaming were able to have a couple of Maxibonds to replenish on energy, take out a student loan, study that game, and they are now back on some... I don't know what other sponsors they have, so I can't really continue this plug.
Okay.
But I've been working with my seamless integration of sponsors into the show. I hope that one wasn't too blatant for you.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I mean, now that you've just explained the joke, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's very obvious.
Sorry, dude.
Unlucky. But it's got to be the Aurelia and the Ornn once again. Frey probably going to pilot that one, and then Pabu potentially going to have exactly the same champion as he did last time. See if Direwolves do switch it up, go back to something more standard, or if we just see something like this Sejuani Jace again. None of those champions have hit the deck.
Absolutely, and
None
I
of them
think the
banned.
counter to Sejuani Jace does sound like on Aurelia bottom lane.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that would be a very good bottom lane counter, and instead they're going to go towards the anti-tank in BioPanther's Singe. So now I want to see that little devil played.
The Teemo.
Give me the Teemo.
Yeah. That is like the old school counter pick. You just get absolutely demolished. Obviously, Dire was banking on the fact that Ornn is going straight up into the top lane, but of course it is flexible. Before it was played in the AD carry position, was played in support as well, so it can go ultimately anywhere. Jace will be the lock-in once again for King, you assume. Interesting to see if AV go back to the cannon.
None of these picks that have been hovered so far. That's exciting.
You're a fan of?
Yeah, Aurelia. Nidalee. I like Nidalee. Do you know what I like about Nidalee? I like the walk into the lane and auto-attack people until they have to run away from you with red buff Nidalee.
It hurts, because you have to juke. If the spear comes out, you just juke until you're dead.
You're just running back and forward, and she's just like autoing you.
It's like the grading system is how many auto attacks you get in. One auto attack, yeah, like it's an alright gank, but if you can get in 4, you've really alphaed the laner there.
You've swung the lane matchup in a big way.
Yep.
In fact, Shern reminds me of SOFM, and SOFM used to play Graves and Nidalee, and he used to take red buff and just walk mid lane with like 40 AD on Graves,
just
and
whack 'em.
auto attack them until they burn flash. That was his game.
That's a good strat. Mid laners are easy to influence because you hit them from both sides. Top laners can come, junglers can come, bot lane
According
can
to
come.
Claire, he lost bone plating, and it
Yeah.
cost him 9 deaths.
That's
Mid lane, the intricacies of mid lane.
I I feel like mid laners are the most specific about their matchups.
100%.
Like 100% of any role. They have probably the most diversity. They have assassins, they have mages,
Fighters,
80 carries even go mid lane,
Supports.
fighters, supports, Lulu Karma.
tanks at the moment.
Sion.
Sion, Galio, those kind of things running around.
They've got everything. So, of course, the specifics of each and every individual matchup matters a lot.
And this would be a cool pickup. We actually saw this played in the EU LCS, and the reason I want to talk about Draven is he never really had to build crit. And he was always a
It
good
was a
lane
BT
bully.
rush.
And so the big thing about Draven, like, you know, BT, Death Dance Rush was around for a long time as well. And it's not going to be Draven, so let's stop talking about it. But what I was going to say is that he bullies out people that have the same or less range than him. He gets such a big steroid from it. And that's real decisive.
Just does strictly more damage with those spinning axes and is incredibly hard to get on with that E. Jake, potentially going to go back to the Pyke.
And this would disappoint me if it was Pyke, because it's just, they've prioritized two champions that the Direwolves have shown that they don't really have all that much interest in picking.
Yep.
For Pyke, which is, as a counter pick goes, I don't think the best against Fiddlestick. He loses out on the range advantage. And they've given Pabu, once again, a very negative matchup.
Singed. Hopefully, for Biopanda, just going to run rings around the Ornn. And the more we see Pyke, the more I fall into the opinion that he's a bit of a win more. If you're winning, he's incredibly frustrated to deal with. He can get Mobies, he can just zoom around the map, does a lot more damage than any traditional support if you go for an AD build. Jake was tweeting yesterday when Rosie was playing it that he thinks the lethality build sucks, so last game he just went straight Kernel Gem Rush into the tank.
Yep. So I want to talk to you about a concept, and I know we've spoken about this before, but not recently, so you might have to refresh your memory. But in scrims, it is very hard to tell if something is new and not figured out or good.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think that Order this week, from Swiper's reaction, from everyone on Twitter, you would assume that they had a good week in scrims playing the way that they played, and people were very surprised they lost. However, they could have just been playing teams that this was new against, and therefore a team like Tectonic had already figured out that part of the meta, and therefore it wasn't good. Pyke, I think, fits into that category, where you play him in solo queue, and people fall into the trap of, what does this thing do? How did it just kill me? And then if you play against a pro player, they're like, this thing just sucks.
Not to mention, scrims versus on stage, sure, they're competitive games, but they're very different.
different.
Players trade all laning phase in scrims. Spooks, Samuel Spooks broadly, I'll testament this to him, was the biggest proponent of being incredibly frustrated because all the lanes trade heavily. He can gank whatever he wants because they're all 20% HP, gets onto the OPL stage, and then all of a sudden everyone's sitting 100 HP and he can't do anything.
Absolutely. So we'll see whether they're able to make the Pyke work. It's actually going to be Frey on the Ornn. I didn't pick up on that, but I mean, it makes a lot of sense. We already said that it's not a great matchup for Ornn in the top lane. I also think it's a crappy Aurelia matchup, by the way. I think Singed is going to run circles around Pabu as well, but maybe some kill threat. We are on to Summoner's Rift. Game number 2, Direwolves already up 1-0. They will be on the blue side. Avant Gaming on the red side. Joining us at the desk right now, one of our good friends of the show. It's going to be Sharp. Thank you for coming in.
No problem at all.
So question number 1, how much did you giggle to yourself in the room watching the first set of the night? How much were you just happy that Tectonic could come in, cause the upset, created a bit more of a buffer? You were pretty happy.
Well, actually, to be honest, after the first game, I was obviously shocked, and I was like, oh, far out, man. It's going to be a 3-game series, so I'm going to get home later tonight. And then the 2A came around, so I was actually pretty stoked. So, yeah.
But that's where I want to kick off this. Let's ignore this. Everyone keeps telling me this is the closest season of the OPL. You obviously have insight into all the teams. You get to study them every day. Is that actually the case from what you've seen? You've been around since the inception of this tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, okay, so originally OPL has been very, like, top-heavy. You know, you've had, like, the dominant 3 or 4. You know, you've had, like, Chiefs, Legacy, Direwolves, and then an Order have come in. So there's now, it's still, like, to be honest, like, Chiefs, Order, Direwolves. And now, you know, you've got teams like Mammoth popping up, AV getting imports. You got, like, Tectonic now, a bunch of imports as well. The talent's spread a lot more, and I guess there's just a lot more talent in itself. Like, back in the day, it used to be the Swiffer Spooks just dominate, you know? And now it's just it's like, talent everywhere in every team. So, I mean, you know, you can't really hate an Order, to be honest, because, like, there's talent in every single team. But in saying that, they were called the super team.
Not by us.
Oh, come on,
I'm pretty
Swan.
sure Tally tweeted it at least once. Minimum once. But to keep this train going, Direwolves have to play Tectonic next week. Are you at all worried
Oh,
after
man.
today's performance? Like,
Yeah.
were you guys going into it very confident? Now there's a bit of iffiness there.
I mean, we're very much focused on like this week. We haven't really thought
Yep.
about like I actually saw Tectonic play. I'm like, oh shit, we actually play them next week. So I'm
Yep.
like, okay, so this isn't going to be just the cruisy few weeks. Heading, except like week 1 was always going to be difficult, but it's not going to be the cruisy few weeks up to like Rift Rivals. But yeah, like definitely got to give Tectonic that respect. And
Yep.
I mean, like they've got a lot of talent in their roster, and Cyclones obviously done a bunch of great stuff over there. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform against us. It's like, well, look, they beat Order 2-0, we beat Order 2-1. I mean, definitely we can't underestimate them.
That
so
means
yeah.
they're better, by the way. That's a better track
Yeah.
record, so you should be worried.
Not so sure about that one, but very good games from Tectonic today. I want to talk to you about this meta. And
Yep.
obviously, week 1, the gentleman's agreement did go through completely standard.
Yep.
However, now week 2, you guys are getting involved in some of the shenanigans as well. How are you enjoying coaching it? Because it's such a strange question. Are you enjoying teaching new things and trying to figure out where it's currently at?
Well, so since the meta's been so chaotic, like previously my coaching style has been very much I leave a lot of the meta stuff to the team and I purely focus on macro. But as of now, I've been spamming a lot of solo queue to try and figure out the meta and help facilitate that discussion. And I feel like it's very important as a coach to be able to like not only be on top of the strategic game, but the in-game, like figure out what's good in lane, why things are good in lane. So as a coach, I actually like it because I was an ex-pro player, so I love playing solo queue and love trying to figure out lane matchups. So it's been a lot more difficult. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot more stressful as well because like with these games, like look, we're playing an Ornn mid, you know, there's stuff that it's just so much more scary. And a
Certainly
top
is.
team can just lose.
They certainly can, and that is going to be first gank of the day. King does get the flash. No predict going to be there. Good double balance coming out of Cupcake. With that, the gank will dissipate, and we will say goodbye to Sharp. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
Best of luck
boys.
in this game. So there you go. A top team can lose.
And a few things have happened.
Maybe
this game.
someone will beat Tectonic then.
Maybe they will. Maybe it'll be Direwolves. Maybe it'll be
Maybe.
next week. But that's Scuttle Crab on your screen right now. Prayless sitting in a 1v3 earlier. Triple, King and Cupcake all didn't want him to have it, but walks in, smites it away, gets that bot lane control. All of a sudden, King incredibly low in this bot side. Of course, Direwolves did have the priority early, but with that gank being shoved in now.
Certainly are, and you saw that was the setup that we were talking about, the unpredictability of being able to go very aggressive and match with something like Lucian this game. And Lucian has always been, if you want to play an aggressive support, if you want to play a go-forward Alistar, if you want to play a go-forward Braum, Lucian is the best. Even if you wanted to play aggressive Janna back in the day, Lucian used to be the best.
Because Janna's always been paired with those AD carries that can go in themselves, right? As Schönfire is actually behind AV's.
Certainly is. I'm trying to eat some wallies. However, the flick will come out. Good dodge coming out of Darkside. He
Very
has
low.
no flash, however.
Ooh.
First blood picked up for Schön.
Jake does live. Darkside's going to lose that one, and Dials return with their own gank. Triple getting auto-attacked by the Nidalee. No red buff.
Certainly
so he
is.
might not
However,
fall.
he threw the spear, goes in, is able to pick up the kill. Now looking for the hop
Lands.
back over the wall. Does he get the heal off? Yes, he does. He needs to get towards that blast plant,
And
and
he
he will not be able to.
hopped.
Good auto attacks coming out from Schön.
Classic Talia auto-attack. Nets himself a kill. Now 2-0 and 0. And this jungle matchup is very volatile. Talia, if she gets ahead, will farm up a storm. Nidalee wants to be that jungler. She was the traditional steal your camps, out-rotate you on the map. She is so incredibly quick. Talia, with 2 kills under his belt, definitely takes the cake.
Yeah, I'd actually be surprised 2 clears faster once they get jungle item boot.
Yep.
Because that was Nidalee's strength, but that has become Talia's strength now. Also very interested to see that we've seen a red smite Talia. Let's have a look at this again.
And the setup from Direwolves was very good. They hold the flick, of course, no heal, so the last tick of Ignite does tick down. Execute procs onto Lucian, and we see what happened to Triple here. Does just get chased out. Double flash blown. Prayless not throwing the spear early, so Triple juking back and forth. Does net himself the kill at the end, but I want to talk about the preparation. We did not see it in the Reaper, but Schönfire walked down the river and was just sitting in the Dragon Pit.
Yep.
Sat next to the Infernal Drake, waited for the time. They have that guaranteed CC of Fiddlesticks. Cupcake flashes forward, hits you with the fear. Flick can land off that incredibly easily, so Dire was very patient, and it pays off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we saw, you know, the versatility of the Direwolves right there. They held summoners. They were able to revisit a lane that was going poorly for them and get themselves a kill. Schön now has both of those kills, going to start accelerating the pace of this game. However, at the same time, we also saw Prayless with a successful early gank and have to compliment him.
Wants to pick up the Grub, potentially go into the blue buff. You have to think he's going to be taking that one and not giving it over to Frey. It's interesting now, AV was the team that put Frey on the jungler last week and was like, Prayless, hey man, you have to play the tank, you have to farm it up mid lane, but this time...
He's played
Frey,
Sion as well.
He's played Sion last week, but now onto the Ornn, bringing another traditional top laner down to mid.
Played a lot of Gallia, so, I mean, maybe he's just a tank player. As we actually have Nidalee sneaking into the brush, they're going to be backing away. They know something is up here. They maybe expect it to just be the Pyke, but however, King still doesn't have flash.
This could be a 3v3. Schönfire is level 6. He's pretty low mana, but can get to the play if he needs to.
Over they go. Flash is going to be there. Spear is going to land in, and the execute. Well played. And already Schön goes in, gets knocked up. They get hit by both, and Frey is already onto Cupcake. Actually misses a knock-up, but it should be okay. Double kill picked up for Darkside, and AV have the early advantage.
And a huge play for AV. 3 kills picked up in the bottom lane. Infernal Drake
and
has
Parvu solo kills Biopanther in the top lane.
We talked about this matchup. It wasn't the Ornn into the Singe. They give him the Aurelia, and Parvu doing the work as well.
This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see someone go at Biopanther, say, yes, you play tanks, you play them very well, there is no doubt about it. Parvu, once again, fighting topside, is going to look to go down potentially, but he is dancing around. Yes, he will die. Infernal Drake will go over.
And we're going to see how this one started on the bot. That was actually an E flash from Jake to guarantee the stun into the spear. Nice setup, Parvu, or actually Frey rather, commits with the TP. Cupcake, no flash, so Schönfire doesn't flash the ram. He gets knocked up, he dies. As we see this 1-for-1 at the end, Biopanther
and that was through Insanity Potion.
The wrong end of the trade. There you go.
Aurelia is broken.
Apparently Singed isn't invulnerable when you push the R button.
He is. Something went wrong there.
Oh,
I'd have to watch it all back.
Really?
Maybe popped Insanity Potion too late.
Okay.
Because it's for those that don't know, a little bit of a meme, but it gives you so much movement speed, but also gives you a ton of resistances. And at this stage of the game, resistances are so like strange. You don't get resistances all that early. So normally it makes it very hard to kill the guy. However, well played by Parvu.
That's why Aftershock was such a big problem on things like Leona. When you get the resistances from your W and then you CC someone, you go in and you just don't take damage.
Jake, once again, looking for it. Is he going to get that? Oh, good dodge from King.
King had flash, so if it was going to hit, there was potentially could get out anyway, but...
King has been renowned to hold his flash in situations he shouldn't, however. Let's take another look at this top lane play.
It's just a straight all-in from Parvu. Very low mana,
no,
but
that's a very early Insanity Potion.
Knows the damage output. On the back end of this one, fighting around. Biopanther thinks he can go in for a little bit more damage. Parvu burns the flash. Just zooming around. That's a very annoying Singed. But in the end, blows the flash and Parvu picks up the solo.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well played by Parvu. Got himself a Sheen, going towards what looks to be, wow, Hex Drinker. So will also be able to stand up very well against the top side of the map because they are all magic damage.
That's triple AP. The only member of the Direwolves that does AD damage, got to be King.
However, will not be able to buy Sterix if he goes towards it, which sounds like not a big deal. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him go Merc Treads, Sterix, as opposed to Hex Drinker.
So we can have that later onto the game. Of course, Trinity Force Sterix. Pretty big power spike for the Aurelia. She's very squishy looking. Stun. Already used, so he's not available. Direwolves in the bot lane.
Very nicely flash forward out of King. We'll be able to pick that up. Silence plus Fear means that there is not going to be any flash coming out of Darkside.
And in that situation, it's not his fault that he didn't flash. The Fear was down, he could not move, and Direwolves commit almost immediately. Prayless looking for Schön.
Yeah, once again, they call in the Ornn. They're able to get over. Good kill picked up. Potentially flashes that didn't need to be burnt, but they're going to continue in the bottom lane. They know that King doesn't have it. And they actually get the hook onto Cupcake. They're going to be able to blow him up. That is so much damage. No, they cannot. And he is going to live on the back end. Double kill for King.
And Cupcake literally laughing underneath the turret. Their silence bounce between the two. No abilities can come out from the Pyke. Nothing can clean up the Fiddlesticks on literally 1 HP.
Because, of course,
King gets another 2 kills.
Was that Ignite available, though?
From Jake?
Yeah.
It's up.
Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, there was a window where he could have just used it. Of course, we want to hear your questions. We're going to be interviewing Schönfire or Prayless, as Nick said on the analyst desk. Triple actually stops the shot coming out of Frey. That's a little bit rude.
Just wanted to craft some items. Can he do it again? No, backs away far enough underneath the turret. And I was going to say, Darkside has died so many times this series with flash available. That one, he was CC. But earlier in the set as well, Direwolves are just so ready to just hard commit on the play, and that's something you often credit Korean teams with. I feel like they're very liberal with their use of summoners because they want to kill and they want it now so that they can make the play, and tempo is enormous. And Dire was definitely subscribed to that model of thinking here as they just all commit their summoners, double flash blown to get onto the Lucian, take him down immediately.
Because it's about what you can get after the kill most of the time. Like, can I go get a dragon? Can I push this wave in and do big damage onto the turret? Last thing you want is a kill to take an extra 10 seconds, rotations to come across, and you to only get the gold, because then it doesn't really mean all that much.
Because oftentimes if the rotations come across, you spend so many resources, you want to back away, and then your waves get shoved in.
And the reason I want to talk about this top lane a little bit more, we haven't seen it all that much, but the reason I thought that Singed would beat Aurelia is that Aurelia's engage is generally stun into hop onto you, do a couple of autos and hop again. And a lot of her damage comes out of her Q. However, Singed has a grounded.
That is true.
So I don't understand how Pabu keeps getting these Sheen procs and doing so much damage to Biopanther.
And he has to be leading with the stun. If the stun lands, all of a sudden first Sheen proc comes out, hits him with a W, dashes away. Of course, there is range on the hop.
It's a real short stun though. It's not a long stun level 1. Of course, now it's level 3, so it probably is how he's trading.
Absolutely popping. And once he has that early kill, has the advantage, it becomes much easier. So as time progresses here, Schönfire once again looking from the bottom side. A lot of ganks have come down here from both teams. Freyless visited very early, is hovering around in the river as well, so potentially another 3v3. This time, Frey does have TP available.
Yeah, no one wants to gank Singed, and really no one wants to gank for Singed.
Yep.
And when you're playing Ornn versus Vladimir mid lane, ganks are hard to come by. So it makes sense that a lot of the attention has been bottom lane, as they're once again looking for something here.
Schönfire did recall, but tracking straight towards the bottom lane again, despite his blue bot being available. So they know exactly what AV want to force. If Ornn can escape from the mid lane matchup,
Freyless is in some trouble. He's going to face check, hops over the wall. Triple could go after him, but will not. Instead, they're going to send Schön. No, he hopped off the wall. That was a little bit strange for Schön. Instead, he flashes forward. He will be able to pick up the kill with the pop of the ultimate. No, it doesn't go in, and instead, they're now turning this one around. Schön going to get picked up. That can be a cancel. No, they continue because they are behind the duo lane. That is the exhaust from Darkside King. Knows he must commit. Will be able to get one. Cupcake looking for the second. Preyless in some trouble. They will look to chase him down. However, now on the wrong side of the map, the overcommitment is there. Sin's just going to troll around the top lane, but King should eventually fall.
Does he get an execute to the turret here? Frey looking for something. He's going through. Singed on the top side. His only teammate up there. No members of AV, so King...
They're just going to let him go.
Might just get out with his life, but overall, very negative trade from the Direwolves. Uncharacteristic mistakes here.
I mean, but they still get the maximum. That is a 2-for-1, but they push in top wave. They push in mid lane wave. King is able to survive, keeps his summoner spell in the exhaust. So I think that whilst that was bad, it could have been much worse.
Absolutely. The Air Drake is the one that spawned. If that was an Infernal, all of a sudden AV don't chase. They take another one, pick up 2. All of a sudden, that's a big deal. Hook, just out of range, won't land. And that was super weird. Schönfire hopped on the wall, didn't commit, so obviously the call was to back away, but Triple didn't have the ulti available. Goes for the flash damage. Ignite wasn't enough to kill Nidalee through the heal.
Because I thought the ulti was there, but it wasn't. So that's why I was like, he's dead. But yeah, very nicely baited out of, I guess, Preyless. Knew that he could get out.
Is he bait? That was a ballsy bait. It was a very nice turnaround from Cupcake and King, though. Fear into ultimate immediately from the Fiddlesticks meant that they traded 1-for-1 as they're going to get some alone time with this turret. Of course, AV chased all the way to the top side of the map, so Pike, Jake, ran all the way up there and just stuck around. Darkside walked out of base, so all of a sudden Pabu finds himself in a 1v2. And once again, Direwolves putting all their pressure on the top side and Biopanther left alone against multiple members of AV.
Yeah, and once again, we're seeing Freyless trading sides of the map. You can see able to get towards top lane, is going to take himself a Rift Herald. They're also trying to raise for first turret, and Biopanther wants to be able to stop that. Will not be able to defend his turret forever, but has done a good job this wave.
Buys a wave whilst Freyless is doing the Rift Herald, so that objective will eventually go down. Direwolves ping onto the Air Drake, but in terms of trading across the map, both turrets, it's going to be a 1-for-1. You really don't want to be taking a Rift Herald for an Air Drake trade.
I think this is rough from the Direwolves because they have not recalled. They could drop Rift Herald in between turrets or even drop it mid right now, and there is a tempo play to be made that AV can trade up. Instead, they don't. They just go for the high percentage, which is back away.
Yeah, they back away. 2 recalls coming out. Darkside pushes in the rest of the wave. Actually culled it. Used all of his mana to deal with that one. Wanted to shove it in immediately. Had no vision of the Direwolves. So didn't know if they were tracking topside, potentially looking for a bit of a gank. But as you mentioned, they still have that Rift Herald available. Probably going to use it to take down the mid lane turret, Triple. Being able to constantly fall back on that one means he is under relative safety.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the gold, about 1,000 gold lead right now for Pabu, who is 30 CS up. Across the rest of the lanes, it is fairly even. 600 for Shern is going to be the main difference there. And Freya's done a really nice job versus Triple this game.
Yep.
Have to commend him. He's up in CS 0-0-5 and has been able to get priority time and time again.
Has the banner of command, so we'll be able to use that one mid in the side lanes if they want to. Whilst multiple Direwolves members were looking for something, as you mentioned before, incredibly hard to gank an Ornn, let alone an Ornn in the shortest lane of the game. Can buy so much time with the CC.
They have to get something here, however, because you can see
Stun
right
lands.
now, stun does land. They will burn the flash as well, but they're going to continue to push in top, push in mid. And they're losing gold objectives across the board and not really getting all that much back in return.
Trying to trade a turret. Mid lane for bottom, not the best trade, but with Rift Herald, this charge will take down the turret. Biopanther does have the ulti available, but no way to defend. Shernfire coming down to try and help him out. Wants the red
Looking
buff.
to take down Darkseid. Actually misses there. Will use the exhaust and get exhausted in response. And you can see now the damage coming out. And King cannot win this 1v1. Will flash forward. That is so uncharacteristic out of King. He gets shut down. Hands on head. He is not happy.
And a huge play out of Darkseid. Dodges the orb there. Does not take the damage. Frey up with the assist. And he goes down to the turret. All of a sudden, what looked like... Ooh!
Meanwhile, mid lane, that is a lot of damage that comes out. Knockup is there. Flick will have to be flashed. Over
Flash
the wall
hook.
goes Jake. That was a flash.
Pabu's behind. He has no ultimate, but...
Yeah, I don't
Jake
think they can
wanting
still
the play.
win that. That was such a strange play out of Jake. You see, they still want this mid lane turret. Top lane is going to be pushed in as well, but they're not going to be able to get it.
Does Shernfire opt in for the 1v1? Has the red buff. No mana on Lucian.
Oh, that is such a bad place to recall. He's going to have to cull him here. Big
flashes.
damage coming out, but that is Shern just not calculating where the minion wave is.
Denied by the melee minions. Blows the flash and Darkseid gets out with just the culling. Very easy escape there. As the gold lead between these two teams as we approach 20 minutes.
Nothing.
Dead even, 100 gold. All of the lanes relatively even. The only mismatch you think is between the jungle and top laners. Pabu has the advantage, but on Direwolf's side, Shernfire.
In saying that, I like the team fight of AV much more. I think that this is going to revolve into a 4-1. Sin's probably not going to want a team fight. Aurelia probably not going to want a team fight. So you're going to have Vladimir and Jace, which seems a little bit janky. No real frontline going up against Ornn Lucian. And it was actually Direwolves that showed us how potent Lucian can be with a beefy frontline at the moment.
There's no real hard CC other than the Fiddlesticks, and that requires the perfect setup team fight on Direwolf's turn. You need AV to face check into actually.
And again, Pabu looking for it. He does have multiple members here. Flick will come out. Spear will just go wide, but Pabu is starting to absolutely rock the bottom lane.
And you were right, Jake. He's gone for the Merc Treads. Wants to go for that second item, Sterax. No Hex Drinker, especially against this Singed. He's constantly bullying it. Doesn't even need it at this point. And as I was talking about, Direwolf's teamfight in the 4 relies on the perfect setup. AV needs to walk into them. Fiddlesticks needs to be over a wall, be able to land a perfect Crow Storm into the Fear to be able to get maximum value. And that's a pretty niche situation that AV need to step in for the Direwolves to be able to get that fight.
Yeah, completely agree. Now they're looking for the mid lane turret. They will be able to get one down. Triple
Triple's
running in.
Crow
That is
Storm.
going to be the Crow Storm, but they're already out. Flash forward. That will not be the stun hitting, and big damage coming out. Both the teleports will be channeled. However, now Biopanther on the front line. Prelis takes a ton of damage, and that's going to be a flip, but he will still get the headbutt off, and now Biopanther is going to get a fantastic wall coming out of Shern. You can see the kite is still there. Shern still doing damage, and is a 1-for-0 trade. That is the best that Direwolves could hope for.
And an incredibly split fight. So close for AV being able to clean up more members there, but the wall comes out, saves the top laner for Biopanther. Direwolves in complete control right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Triple was so low. Biopanther was so low, but at the end of the day, neither of them fell down. However, the teleport is now coming in. Pabu wants it. Just grazes his bottom, Bryce.
And they have 2 minions. They're just going to tank it up, so they will get a turret for their troubles. But Direwolves, overall, they're positive for them. And that wasn't the ideal team fight. That was a Crow Storm very far away, but they committed to it. Flash out a Cupcake, flash out a Triple. They used a lot of their buttons to try and get that one.
And they're going one more time. Frey is being caught out. Jake has also been caught. Is very visible. Will go over the wall and will get the stun. Will live. but that could potentially be the Baron.
The range on that dash was enormous. Went over the fattest wall.
No, they don't do it. Even with all the ultis down, they don't even go within the pit. Now Cupcake has been exhausted.
Yeah.
Will get the fear off, but Pabu
Stun.
looking for it. Stun doesn't hit, but he still flashes forward. Now grounded, now overextended. Will not fall down. He is so tanky on the backline. Shern starting to do some damage. Good flash out of Darkseid. The hook is on, and Shern goes down. AV starting to really run away with this one.
And nobody is recalled. This is fight after fight. AV in a 5v3 right now. Pushing onto the members by Panther.
They landed. That must be an Infernal Drake. Otherwise, I see no other reason to abandon this siege. And it is. You just know when a team gives it up and just runs straight towards it.
Just zooms towards it. Of course, no TPs available for both members that are going to respawn here. Schoenfire, 20 seconds, 15. Cupcake did just spawn, but this is the 5v3, and Direwolves are trying to hold.
They're going to call in the Ornhorn, and they get the pull out early. That means no contest can therefore come. Massive bottom wave to be picked up by Avant right now. They're 1,000 gold in the lead, and more important, they got their double Infernal Drake.
Huge late game advantage as they tread into that sort of territory. We saw game number 1, Direwolves slow lead in the early game, the slow build, and eventually soul-crushing victory over AV, but all of a sudden, what was a completely dead-even game, AV picked themselves up a second Infernal Drake. They get some kills onto important members. Frey, 007. James bonding it in the mid lane as double Darkseid, picking up all the kills.
Yeah. We'll see how this game continues to progress, because so far, Nidalee heal onto Darkseid in these team fights has mean he has just been popping off, and we've talked about it so much. But Lucian can build MR, loves Hex Drinker, loves to go for Merc Scimitar. He will be fairly tanky with that Black Cleaver as well. This is not going to be easy to blow him up.
And Jace is a champion that falls off. He gets his lethality spike once he gets his GA. Once you're approaching those 4-5 items, a traditional AD carry like the Lucian, even investing in things like the Hex Drinker, it's just so much more reliable in terms of consistent damage. Sure, the huge burst is there, but if you survive that burst...
Yep. And you have to navigate the burst onto the backline because it's the lethality.
Yep.
At the moment, if Frey eats it, it doesn't do all that much.
He's going double armor item here. Got himself a Sheen, probably going into the Frozen Fist. Got the Banner of Command. There's 60 there. It's a very tanky Ornn.
Absolutely. Not to mention he just has a lot of HP.
Yep.
Hook goes wide. This turret will eventually fall down. Nice ulti from Shern to just secure that one.
AV fairly happy to give that one up because Pabu has so much control on the bottom side. That turret was so low. Just a few auto attacks. All of a sudden, Pabu standing on a pink ward looking for a pick. King.
He's looking for
playing
something.
with a little bit of danger here. He dashes
playing
onto
with
it.
a lot of danger here. Stun will not hit. They go for the ultimate, however, still. Flick will be there. Pabu has the Hysterics, and look how tanky he is right now. Dancing around, Biopanther will get that buff, but gets the flash out of King and gets away with his life.
And incredibly close to falling down. King had no idea he was there.
If the first stun hit.
If that hits, he dies immediately. Barely, once again, scraped his bottom.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the stuns you got to be able to land. That's where if he's probably got 100 games on the champion and he's good at it, if you have 1,000 games on your Aurelia, you would hit that 10 out of 10 times.
That's true. It was Praelus. Might just be face checking triple. No, hits him with a spear. Gets the vision from the W.
Praelus has played well this game. Nidalee is a very hard champion to make work in competitive, and he's done it well.
Schoenfire with those 2 early kills picked himself up about a 50 CS lead, so of course he's ahead. But to keep in the running. Of course, Praelus catching up. Gold lead. Just a bit under 2,000 there for the jungler. Top lane, 2k in favor of Pabu on the Aurelia, which is exactly what you expect given the amount of pressure he has in the side lane.
But the fact that he generated the pressure himself, this wasn't a gank. This was a solo kill that Pabu was able to set up. Now a 70 CS advantage that he has for himself. You got to give credit where credit's due. Certainly putting on a good performance.
As we're 25 minutes in, nobody has really set up anything around the Baron pit. AV just opting in for the 1-3-1, which makes a lot of sense when you have an Aurelia this big. Ornn has TP, can catch waves on the other side of the map. Direwolves just trying to hold on, trying to buy time for Biopanther to get a few items. Now sitting on 2, has the MR, has the ability to engage a team fight. Because Direwolves have a lot of pseudo-engage, right? They have a Righteous Glory Singed. Sure, Talia can wall people off and catch you out. You have a Fiddlesticks, but that's reliant on where the fight takes place. So a lot of the team compositions in the OPL revolve around Jews flashing in on a Skarner, things like that. If there's ever a team that has the ability to play a team fight like this, it is the Direwolves.
Absolutely.
We'll see if they are successful.
In fact, for a very long time, the hard team comps were kind of the direwolves bread and butter. As we see Jake swimming through the land. Doesn't make all that much sense to me, but, you know.
He's also caught a cannon. That's a pretty hefty one to pick up on your fishing rod.
Absolutely. That'll pay for dinner.
Yeah. 3 kills worth, you said earlier.
Ooh.
A lot of gold.
King chooses the right way to go. Out of fog and war came the harpoon. Does not land. However, ooh, he got tagged by the red buff there. That would have been the opportunity for a little bit of damage to come out.
Pings are going down. Missing pings into the bush on your screen right now. They know Cupcake is somewhere around, but because direwolves have all the vision control in the world, they have no idea where he is. Don't want to face check onto the Jace with the Fiddlesticks Crowstorm flying.
But this is
in
the
from
thing.
the side.
Cupcake needs to get in the middle of the team fight. Frey just needs to hit R.
Yep.
And they have very similar impact. We'll pop the Banshee's Veil. Very nicely done there. However, mid lane control now gained by Avant Gaming.
So this does mean they're going to be able to walk up the river. Jake has actually swept through the mid lane. So they're not going to be able to clear out too much of the Baron vision. Does wear off before they even get to the pit. Prayless is on cooldown, so whilst they have the ability to drop some wards, they deny nothing in terms of direwall vision.
However, I think Avant needs to start forcing. This is the strongest Pabu will ever be. He gets the stun here. Let's see if he looks for it. Conqueror has popped as well. Where is the ultimate? Does he throw it for the slow? No, he will hold onto it. Crowstorm coming in. Stun will miss this time. Will get CC'd up. Will get... No! He takes one down. 1-for-1. Teleport also coming in. This looks like a fight that Avant want to commit to. You can see the pike. Will get the hook. Will get the stun. Where is the rest of the team? Darkseid has been exhausted, but he will get the GA. And they can pick up another kill here and potentially go towards Baron.
And they take down Pabu, but you can see the call out of direwolves. Triple in the top lane has Ignite. There's no way he's getting to this fight. Just continues to push the wave. Schönfire, the jungler, shoving up mid. They want to buy some time with these waves so AV can't do Baron.
Yeah, but the thing is I don't think AV care. They still haven't used the Ornhorn. And this should be a case is if they can just blow up Triple. Actually, Prayless going to face check. This is such a bad news story. We'll get a little bit of damage down. Actually, that's a lot of damage down. Now Shern's gone forward. He's been caught out. Over the wall goes Darkseid. Will get hit by the flick. However, this is going to be the Ornhorn sounded. Triple on the back end of it, looking for something. However, that will be the knock-up. Triple will get into it. However, will eventually fall down. Yes, he will. Gets the ultimate at the end. Now Pabu back up and available. BioPanther completed that TP. Will fall down. Another 3 kills. And the direwolves are now behind.
And AV, they turn 2 picks into 3. All of a sudden, the 2 members, Dead King and Cupcake, back on the map, but there's no way they can contest this. Crowstorm is off cooldown soon, but Pabu just chasing them away. This is going to be double Infernal Drake, 3,000 gold lead, and a Baron over to AV in game number 2.
Absolutely, and this game looks completely different. Pabu with an advantage. Now 70 CS, 4 kills, and a Baron buff is going to be able to go to bottom lane, and I don't think this is going to be Avant making the same mistake as Order. This is going to be them committing very hard to the split push.
And this is what we expected. Pabu and BioPanther at different times, they came out of the same place. They've come out of the OCS, broken onto the OPL. Pabu, with this experience, gets the carry matchup he wants onto the brand new top laner of the Direwolves. Having his way with him this game. Huge lead. He's almost approaching the Flame Horizon, 100 CS advantage.
I mean, he's up 3,000 gold more, nearly 4,000 gold up. I mean, Aurelia has an expensive build, and that is a lot of good items.
And if you take a look at...
Oh, actually, they've caught out here. Pabu going to go very low, going to get picked off. Will burn the flash to try and get away. Does he get a heal over the wall? Yes, he does. This is going to be a big knock-up onto the backline. Now BioPanther trying to get something done. Insanity post and pop, but Pabu is popping off. Will get his team another kill. And you can see Prayless is still looking for it. That will be Triple trying to blow someone up. However, Prayless is very tanky. Triple will get stunned. Will pull it, and Cupcake now running forward will have to burn the flash backwards. And that is still a 1 trade right now for Avant.
They do get the 1 for 2. It's pretty sketchy. They got caught out in the jungle, but the gold lead, the ability for Ornn Frey to just engage from so far away. Pabu lives for so long with that Sterax. That's a Hex Drinker. That doesn't happen, but now AV with this Baron buff, sieging the base.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to push in mid lane. This should be inhibitor number 1 going down. It is a mid lane inhibitor, so just an extra gold going over for now. However, with side lane still accumulating, with still some of that Baron buff, they should get the empowered recall out and look to reseed.
But as you say, they are just going to recall. Frey catches himself doing the classic mistake of backing on a pink, so will get out with that one. Prayless wanted a Gromp, but Darkside says absolutely not. That's mine. Going to farm out the top side. AV just going to reset across the board.
I mean, are they though? Because they have a big wave here, and Darkside is just last hitting it. Means that they will be able to get all of the members up, and they could ride it into top lane.
And Banner of Command on Ornn is very close to being off cooldown. He's in the mid lane now. If they rotate onto this huge wave, it is still defensible.
They've caught out Cupcake again. He doesn't have flash on the back end of this, however. That is going to be stun landing, and Shern getting blown up. Cupcake is dead as well. 2 members down, and AV will continue this relentless assault.
And way out of position, Cupcake threw the Zonyas, used it to buy some time, but Shernfire gets baited in as well. Suddenly a 5v3. Banner of Command is available. Ornn's used it mid. They're looking for the end.
Absolutely, this could be game. You can see they're diving in again. Stun missed on Biopanther, but at the minimum, this will be a second inhibitor going down, and there's still 30 seconds left on Shern and Cupcake. You can see they bring back Biopanther. They stun him up. They take him down. Triple flies into everyone. Pull, however, has already been used, and they just want to focus onto their turrets. Both of them are gone. Stun lands. That's triple. King has to flash away, and that will be AV drawing us towards game 3.
And we saw him do it, Pabu, very early in the game. Gets himself that solo kill. Game number 1 from Direwolf's end was the slow build. AV, not quite as clean, but all of a sudden the Aurelia taking over, and that was the flex.
Yep.
That was Ornn we expected to go topside. That was the Singe counterpick into the Ornn. Direwolf's disrespecting that flex and getting punished with the Aurelia.
Well, I was on the same page as the Direwolves. I thought Singe would be fine into both of the picks. However, we saw that was not the case. With Conqueror, was able to do so much damage and just continue to exert pressure. And once Biopanther was behind, and this is, I thought someone would throw the gauntlet at Direwolves because they've been saying that they're very confident in him, that he's been performing very well, that in the OCS he was stepping up. And I think that they were kind of putting out a persona that they weren't worried about it. But then 4 bans in week number 1 versus Tally, they got rid of all the carry top laners. And this time they give Pabu a carry top laner. And I expect more teams to go to this because no longer do you have to split the map.
I agree, especially if Direwolves are going to continue to play something like the Jace. They can't rely on getting through that early stage and then King just being an absolute monster later on in the game. They're investing in these compositions where Pabu gets ahead topside. Suddenly he's incredibly difficult to deal with, but Direwolves are still potentially on that clock. Jace will fall off eventually. Of course, they have a Vladimir as well, but it's not the traditional style that we see and not the style that Direwolves have played for years, so it's falling apart a little bit.
And especially if you got someone like Frey, that very selfless player. He'll play anything. He'll play the carries when he has to. He'll play global on something like Galio. Played Sion, now playing the Ornn mid lane. He is completely sacked. That is not a lane that Ornn can win. The way Ornn wins is by getting farm and getting to team fights. And he got to every team fight early game. He was 0-0-7 and just a utility bot, and it was working out great.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the engagement to get those picks at the end of the game, like that literally with a straw that broke the camel's back, was off the back of an Ornn ulti in the jungle. Very hard for Direwolves to like navigate those passages. Once you're in the jungle, Ornn ulti sounded like very easy engage and quick end from there.
Absolutely, and the closest split of the OPL continues with Avant now bringing us to 1-1. After these quick highlights, we'll be back for game number 3. Flash is going to be there. Spear is going to land in, and the execute. Well played. And already Shern goes in, gets knocked up. They get hit by both, and Frey is already onto Cupcake. Actually misses a knock-up, but it should be okay. Double kill picked up for Darkside, and AV have the early advantage. And they actually get the hook onto Cupcake. They're going to be able to blow him up. That is so much damage. No, they cannot. And he is going to live on the back end. Double kill for King. And now grounded, now overextended. Will not fall down. He is so tanky on the back line. Shern starting to do some damage. Good flash out of Darkside. The hook is on, and Shern goes down. Triple will get into it. However, will eventually fall down. Yes, he will. Gets the ultimate at the end. Now Pabu back up and available. Biopanther completed that TP. Will fall down. Another 3 kills. Now Biopanther trying to get something done. Insanity post and pop, but Pabu is popping off. Will get his team another kill. Stun lands, that's triple. King has to flash away, and that will be AV drawing us towards game 3. That is a huge ultimate out of triple. So much damage across, and it looks like the Direwolves are absolutely rinsing the team.
Thanks to Hungry Jacks, you can win a trip for 2 to the 2018 World's Grand Final in Korea. To enter, head to os.lolesports.com/worlds-trip and fill out your details. The trip includes flights, transfers, accommodation and tickets to the 2018 World's Grand Final. All thanks to Hungry Jacks.